Hey everybody, welcome to Thursday's Thoughts with Terry again. I'm glad you're joining me. As always, if this helps you, hit the share button to your page, hit the like button, give me a comment, tell me how it's working, or reach out to me through Messenger, and I'd be glad to help you in any way I can. Today I've got this thought. It's called passionately balanced. I think so many times in our life, we talk about things like you got to balance your life. You got to balance between career, family. You got to balance between extracurriculars, rest, downtime, kind of binge days where you binge a Netflix season or whatever that is. And you just balance everything. Life is so busy today. We got so many things that we all do, we can do, that we're a part of. So many things that take and consume much of our time, where sometimes we just feel like we're desperately reaching for air in our own life, where we don't even have time for ourselves. We don't have time for those things that are important to us. And sometimes it's like, how do you balance everything? Those are the questions that I get. I get people that ask, how do you balance? How do you balance your faith, your career, your family? We raised 4 kids. I coached all my kids, all my boys in soccer, did 19 years of coaching, 2 seasons a year, coached high school soccer, traveled with my kids on competitive soccer, was associate pastor, ministered in the church, was here most every service through the year, missed about 4 or 5 a year, and we did things like that. Had a wife, have an amazing marriage of almost 28 years, and how do you balance all of that? These are questions that I get, and I want to say this: I passionately balance, if that makes sense to you. And some people say you can't balance, you can't separate job and career and family because they're all tied together. Your career is tied to your family, because without your career, then you can't feed your family. You can't. It's what sustains the family and the lifestyle that you have. And some people say, well, your family is tied to your career because they are the reason why I do what I do, or they're that moral support that I'm needed when I go through some rough days and tough days, is what my family is. And so they're all intertwined and they're all connected, and there's no way to balance or separate those things, because all of it is inclusive to who you are. I believe that. I do believe that. But I do believe there's a balance. There's an ability to eliminate certain things in our life that steal so much of our time, so that we can emphasize on those important things in our life. And I honestly think that when you find those important things, when you find those things that sustain you, that define who you are, those things that give you outlets of energy and outlets of stress, and those things that are all inclusive to your life, that you should go passionately into those things. And this is what I'm talking about. We have to eliminate the idea that we multitask. I've never found anybody that's really good at multitasking, because the reality is anytime you have 2 things you do, you only can give 50% effort into each of those things. You never can go all in. You can never be 100% in if you're trying to do 2 different things at the same time. I think so many people think, oh, I can multitask. Well, sure, you can do 2 things at one time, it may look like, but you don't have the capacity to divide your complete attention 100 and 100. You can only give so much of your attention to one thing while you're doing another thing. And I think sometimes what we do is we say we're multitasking, but we really aren't, because you can't divide 100% of energy into 2 different things at the same time and say you're giving 100% to each of those. You're only giving 50%. That's all we all ever do. I want to say it this way: when we divide our attention between 2 things, we divide our energy, as well as, watch, when we divide our attention, we divide our progress. Anytime that I divide my attention between 2 different projects, I'm dividing that progress. It takes me much longer to get that thing done, or the productivity of it isn't as high when I'm trying to do 2 different things at one time. Study shows this, that when we start multitasking, when we are so focused on one item, one project, whatever that is, one thing, and we're going hard at it, and the minute we get disrupted, this is the study, it takes a minimum of 25 minutes on average for us to get refocused back into that one thing. So just a simple interruption in our life, not a multitasking, a simple interruption in our life. This is a study that just came out in 2016 about multitasking and what divides our focus, is it takes 25 minutes to get back to 100% focus in that thing when we're interrupted or disrupted or distracted by something. So how can that be multitasking really be feasible for our life if it takes us that much time to get readjusted or refocused? I want to challenge you with this thing, is be passionately balanced. What do I mean? Go 100% all in the thing that you're doing. Set that time. If it's at your career and you got multiple projects, divide your multiple projects. Take in your 8-hour day, 10-hour day, whatever it is you work, and take chunks of it. 2 hours you're going to give it to project A. 2 hours you're going to give it to project B. 2 hours you're going to give it to project C. And do it intentionally that way so that you can give every bit of your effort and energy into a single project to see the most success and productivity out of that project because you've given everything to it. What we find is when we're multitasking, we're doing multiple things, we're just prolonging the time that it takes. We're getting closer to our deadlines, which makes it become rushed. It's not done properly. It's not done with great excellence. What we're doing is dividing our progress when we divide our attention. I want to challenge you this. Go all in with your family. Man, leave work at work and take home yourself to your family because they deserve 100% of you. Fathers, your children deserve 100% of you. Your wives deserve 100% of you. You know, wives, get off the social media, get off the phone, get off the email at nights when your husband comes home. Come on. Your children deserve 100% of you. Your husband deserves 100% of you. If we would go passionately all in to what we're doing, I believe that's what balance looks like. So many times we say we're going to have a date night with our spouse, but we're checking emails, we're checking text messages, we're making business decisions, we're too invested in everything, and we're not giving undivided attention. It's constantly divided. Listen, I want to challenge you to be passionately balanced. Whatever you choose to do, go 100% in and put everything else on the side. Take that device, take that phone, and while you are wanting to have that conversation or that investment or that job deal is that important, it probably could wait till tomorrow because the person you're with is that important as well. And you have to make that decision to be passionately balanced in your life. Hey, that's my thought today, man. Go all in with whoever you were with, whatever you're doing, whatever that project is. Try to eliminate that multitasking mentality. Be passionately balanced. Go all in. Exert 100% of energy into what you're doing with who you're doing. And I guarantee you the success and the return of that relationship or that project will be much greater than it would be if you tried to do multiple things at one time. That's my thought. Until next week, I call you blessed. Have a great day.